Hello everyone and welcome to the I've messed it up again. I've actually messed it up again. I cannot believe that. Please pronounce it correct for me, Preston.
The Hungarian.
Thank you so much. I was going to say that, but then words could not speak. Welcome back to the Hungarian. Messed up again. I'm just going to stop saying it now. For the Hungarian... For the Hungarian Grand Prix, what a sprint race it was yesterday. We saw Charlie, Peter, DNF. Unfortunately, Jamie take a broken wing, so he ended P12. We saw George retake the lead in the championship by taking first place, and Harry in second place, as he is now takes back fourth place in the championship, overtaking Jamie. So what a start it was by these people. Actually, no, yeah, fourth place. Sorry, I had a moment there. But it was a good race for George and Harry. Callum, of course, got P4, staying exactly where he is in the championship, but getting points, catching up to Charlie, who DNF'd. So an opportunity here today, wouldn't you say, Preston?
Yeah. He just really needs to build that gap, because Harry will just be held up from all of these AIs. As long as it's not a safety car and he can build that gap, he should be fine to gain points on Charlie today.
Very, very true. But I know I said it just before the sprint race ran out, but very, very, very quickly, before you do lights out, is there a possibility that we could see Harry or Jamie, or Peter for that matter, because all three of them are very closely contended right now, catch up to the top three?
It's possible, I wouldn't rule it out.
Fair enough, fair enough. We shall have to see what happens. We've still got half a season to go. But now, as the guys reline up on the grid, I hand it over to your honourable hands.
Just as the final cars are lining up, we will get underway. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out. And away we go. George gets a decent start on Harry, but Harry's managed to gain on him going into this first corner. He's wheel to wheel. He's got an excellent start here, but there's new tyres. He's managed to get ahead, and George has gone deep into the corner. Harry's managed to stick with him. This is good fighting from the front here, but there's a drama going all over the grid.
Oh!
You've seen Callum dropping down.
Not a good start for Callum, especially, wanting to catch up to Charlie and George, but sent down to P19. As you said, Harry had a chance to get P1, but unfortunately couldn't prevail. Connor now down to P5. Jamie in P6, a massive improvement for him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of winners and losers in this, and that is just unfortunate for Callum. First corner, and he's already round. I'm presuming it was a spin from what I could see. I didn't quite see it. Also, I was looking at the front too, but that's just very unfortunate, because now he's got to do the exact same as what Charlie's got to do and fight through these AIs.
Very, very true. But we speak quickly about Charlie and Peter. Peter obviously getting a better start up to P14, but Charlie up to P17 now. Both of them looking to get back up, as well as Callum, but obviously both of them starting at the bottom of the grid. Hopefully going to be getting back up.
Yeah, and Callum is gaining on Charlie here. He's managed to stick with these AIs, and Charlie's not too far in front. Oh, and he spun. Oh, that's unfortunate for Callum.
He's going to have to really cool these tyres off now. Work his way back up. A very unlucky start, I would say, for Callum for sure. But as we speak, Connor manages to get the overtake on the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. However, Carlos is trying to come back. He cannot. Connor keeps that P4 position.
Yeah, this has been eventful, this start. What would have been Callum's dream opportunity to gain points on Charlie has now just fallen apart. Charlie's now been blessed with the fact that Callum's been dropped down, but again, he's struggling to really fight these AIs. We've seen other drivers really make up a couple of places as well, and Harry's really sticking to George.
Very, very true. But we speak about George really quickly, in fact. he must be loving this. Right now, he is the only championship contender in the points. Of course, that can all change in the 33 laps we have left. But still, right now, the only championship contender in the points.
Yeah, he's going to be loving life of how much he's going to gain. And he's just on the better tyre strategy as well. If we can have a look at the people's tyres, he's the except from Peter as well. The two Alpines are the only ones on the hards. We do see Connor on the softs, but everyone else is on mediums. So if George can stay out front, he's got a longer stint before everyone else does it, before he goes into even quicker tyres.
Very true, and it looks like he's actually pulling away from Harry as well. Harry's not taking full advantage of those mediums. George is actually managing to pull seconds away from him.
Yeah, this just is a strong display from George. I mean, he showed it all throughout quali and sprint race. Like, this is his race to lose.
Very, very true. We'll see what happens, though. Anything can happen. We know this. In the 32 laps we have left, we shall see who will prevail and who won't. But I do see Connor now closing in on his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Of course, Connor, again, as we mentioned, on the faster tyres. But will he prevail and get ahead of seven-time World Drivers' Champion in Norway F1, Lewis Hamilton?
Could do, but I don't think those tyres are going to last much longer, so I'm not sure how beneficial the overtake will be to him, but yeah, I think he'll get past him.
Oh, it's actually not looking like it. He has to back out because he knows he cannot get that overtake done in back order. Same as in the background, I saw Jamie was closing in on Carlos Sainz but couldn't get the overtake done there either. However, Connor does get the overtake done right there on Lewis Hamilton. Nice work back up to P3 spot now for Connor. Will he be able to catch up to Harry? Potentially. With how long his softs will be lasting? I don't know, another 6 laps maybe?
No, I don't think so. I think they'll probably start to die off in the next couple of laps. The tyre degradation is very bad around here. As we saw, they did mediums for the sprint race, which was 12 laps. So the softs definitely cannot last like 10 to 12 laps. If they can, well, that's just kind of doing excellent tyre management.
Very, very true, but we shall see what happens. See if he can prevail ahead of Harry and manage to keep that or not. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. Oh, he spun! Oh, no. Jamie, watch out. Jamie manages to get past. Nice one. Do not reset to track corner. I am watching you.
No, he's found it slightly hard to try and get his car around. This is not good news for him.
He really...
He needs to hit if he's going to do anything. Oh, and he's spun again. Tyres are all dirty. There's Callum just there. Oh, that was close.
If he had hit Callum there, that could have been a very bad penalty.
And he didn't pit. He's going to try and stay on these softs, which is brave. But who am I to judge anyway?
Well, I mean...
Oh, he's nearly spinning again.
Really not looking good for him, is it? He's trying to cool down his tyres, but as you say, it's such a twisty, turny track with so many corners. It's very difficult to.
Oh, there he is again. He spun.
Not a good time for Connor at all. Hopefully he can recover it. Who knows? Should we have a look back up really quickly?
Yeah.
Peter, I see, is back into the points. Back up to P10. A brilliant recovery for him right here. However, Charlie's still down in P14, but Peter now stretching to get past on the inside of Joe Guan Yu and makes it past up to P9 here.
Yeah, and it's begging the question, are those hard tyres now coming into temperature? They're now showing their full pace, because as you said, Charlie's battling out with P14 with these mediums, but it seems as though Peter's just breezing through them.
Very, very true. And I do see George getting madly ahead of Harry now. So it really is looking like those hards are coming to life.
Yeah. Like you said, in the sprint race it was 12 laps for those mediums. So maybe it is just the tyre degradation is so bad that the mediums are starting to slowly drop off a little bit.
Very true. We'll have to see when they pit, who pits first. Oh, it is Connor to pit first. He's finally pit. A wise decision from him. I wonder what tyres he's going to go on for. Those are the hards he's going on for.
Yeah, he probably, depending on how the race pans out, if he can get back up there, I would presume that he's going to go for a soft, hard, soft. Yeah. Just because I don't think those hards are going to last 35 laps, but he'll probably stretch them for as long as he can, considering he's at the back of the grid.
Very true, and I hate to say it, but you can see if you have the full map on right now.
Yeah, George is slowly approaching him.
It looks like he's going to be getting lapped and blue flagged very soon. A very unfortunate time, a very unfortunate debut for Connor so far, but hopefully, potentially, this is just a weak track of his. You know, maybe come Jeddah, 100% race, shows what he's got.
Yeah, as much as people say Jeddah's quite a tough track, it's not as tough as some tracks like this one. Spinning easily and keeping tyres cool around this track is quite hard, so Jeddah's not quite got that expertise. It's more of a keep your car out of the wall.
Very true, which some people fail miserably to do.
Yeah, some people, but don't know. We'll have to see how he pans out in Jeddah. This just has been a very unlucky debut race for him.
Very, very true. But Callum not doing very well in getting back up, trying his best, but he's probably going to have to pit himself very soon. He's probably going to hope to pit after the AIs do, so he can get all the way up, and then hopefully pit and not lose too many positions.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he probably, depending on how his tyres are feeling, he probably will try and go for the overcut, and just wait it out, try and get some decent laps in whilst the AIs are trying to warm up the tyres, and then probably box in, so he reduces the amount of places he loses. But it's highly dependent on how his tyres are feeling, because he did spin, didn't he, twice, so his tyres could be quite bad.
Yep. But we shall see what happens. But just very quickly, Charlie is getting the overtake on Joe Guan Yu back up to the points. Brilliant recovery by Charlie to get back up into the points now. Of course, potentially going to go back after the championship leader and go to hopefully get that first place in the championship back. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. But also, Peter, even more of a brilliant recovery up to P7 now. Both of them are amazing so far.
Yeah, Peter's showing some strong pace, so is Charlie. And it's just, they seem to be slowly edging their way closer to the front of the grid. Just because of how difficult the track is, they're just slowly doing it, but yeah, I'm sure they'll be back up there in no time.
True, very true, and a true. Who knows?
Although Jamie is on the back of Lewis Hamilton here.
Could get a
He's right up to the rear, and he could possibly try and be looking at getting that podium spot.
Will the DRS pay off? I think he's close enough for it. Hasn't got any ERS to boost him along. Lewis Hamilton managed to defend him enough, but going round on the inside of Lewis now and pulling in front. No!
Not quite just yet. Lewis Hamilton's fighting back. Down the inside, James got to be later on the brakes. He's going to push him further round. Can he keep it? I think he will keep it. No, he won't. Lewis is still fighting. I think he's just losing out to Lewis.
This is why we want the AIs in, because you get battles like this. Why the hell wouldn't you want them in? Jamie is now having to absolutely go at his best. Oh, a brilliant overtake there.
Yeah, it's not easy to overtake there because how tight it is, but that was brilliant from him.
A slight potential corner cut, though. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe just. But now Peter up to P6, working his way up very, very slowly. Can we just talk about George? What a gap.
Yeah, he's just so dominant this race. I mean, he's been dominant all season, hasn't he? But yeah, he's really shown his true colours here today. It's just quality sprint. Nothing seems to have phased him. It doesn't seem to spin. Touchwood. No commentator's curse here. But yeah, he's just been on it since the get-go.
Very true, very true. Potential world champion. Who knows? I mean, would you say he's championship worthy?
From the performances he's putting all season, yeah, but what are we now approaching halfway? So still plenty of time for other people to get involved. So I wouldn't label him as the championship leader just yet, but he has been putting in the performances to suggest he could be one of them.
Very true, very true. We'll have to see what happens here. But I do see Peter now gaining on the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Will he be able to pull in front and get that P5 position? I'm sorry, but Peter has done so brilliantly getting back up today. Honestly, from the bottom of the grid, goes round the outside of Carlos Sainz, and even with no trouble at all, secures that P5 position.
Yeah, just to keep your eyes out, it is approaching lap 11. So these mediums highs are really going to be struggling now. So this is Peter's playground now, really. He can just fly through these AI.
Very true, we'll have to see what happens, but Callum's struggling to get back up. What is going wrong? Is it those mediums really affecting him?
I think, yeah, with obviously spinning twice, being put at the back of the grid, it's not really going to do his confidence the world good. Those mediums also are going to be falling apart, especially with spinning twice on them, and not going to exactly have the most life in them. And yeah, I just think there's a mixture of things going wrong for him, and it's just an unlucky day for him, not his day at the office.
Very true, but at least his partner is doing brilliantly in P3, going to keep up their constructors' hopes, that's what McLaren want, to keep their constructors' hopes alive, and obviously not a brilliant day for Callum in Drivers' Championship, obviously losing quite a few points, but, with Charlie back in the points, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's not a brilliant day for Callum. And unfortunately, Jamie's going to be looking in his rear view mirror, seeing Peter and Lewis battling it out, and want to put on the speed because Peter's going to be hunting him next.
And what a battle it'll be, because those Red Bull, Alpine and McLaren are the top three in the constructors right now, so we want to see those three teams go head to head and really fight for that Constructors' Championship, because last season we didn't really care about it, but now we do.
Yeah, last season was just a mix of your own teams. It wasn't too interested in the Constructors, but with everyone pairing up this season, it's going to be quite interesting to see who comes out on top as the best team, really.
Very, very true. But I'm trying to find what else to talk about, really. Oh, that's right, Charlie is gaining on me, Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Potentially going to go through this nice chicane very well to gain on the Aston Martin. Can he get the overtake here, do you think?
Yeah, if not now, he'll get it on the DRS straight.
Fair enough, we'll have to see what happens as they go around the final few corners. He's really gained, almost touching the rear wing there of the Aston Martin. Has to pull out a little bit going round the outside, but cannot stretch enough. The Aston Martin almost going into pits there, but pulling out at the last second. But we will see DRS come into effect right now within a 0.3 second gap. That should be close enough for Charlie. Can pull in front, potentially going to go on the inside. I predict that is prediction correct. He does pull on the inside, and he gets past Lance Stroll.
Yeah, just going back to what I said before, Jamie would have been looking in the rear view mirror seeing Peter, but he would have just not been notified that Peter did just set the fastest lap, and he is now deep within DRS of Jamie. So Jamie's going to have a fight on his hands here come the next DRS straight.
especially with those very warm mediums as well. We're seeing a lap 13 now, almost into lap 14. It's going to be a test whether the mediums, people on mediums pit now or not. Will Jamie just concede a position by pitting, potentially?
Yeah, potentially. He hasn't got any battery. You can see he's flashing that rear view light. And Peter's just waiting out his time. He knows he's got the tyres, he knows he's got the battery. It's just a matter of when, not if.
And it looks to be potentially right here, right now, with Peter pulling on the inside. I would say, unfortunately, an easy overtake on Jamie up to P3. Will Jamie be able to fight back? He can't, and unfortunately has to concede the position.
Yeah, Jamie would have wanted to make that a little harder, but the pace that Peter's got right now, it's just an impossible task for Jamie to really fire that off. So to keep his car clean, out of danger, he just has to really concede the position.
Very true, an unfortunate time for sure. But I see Callum now getting up to P16, overtaking the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas. He's got quite the train of the AIs to go through here. But of course with the train, that's also a DRS train, so no DRS will be effective. He has to rely on ERS, but which he does not have because he's got a red flickering light at the back. So how the hell will he put in front? He goes very wide there.
Yeah, slight frustration, I'd presume, being stuck behind all these AI. He's going to dive bomb it. He does get the move done. Does create a bit of a gap. He's now without DRS, but I'm sure he'll gain that back by the time he gets round to the straight. But yeah, this is not good news for Callum, and the last thing you want is to be stuck in a DRS train.
Will he, like you said, you thought he may actually catch up, but it's not looking like it. But Charles, well now Valtteri, isn't within DRS either. Actually, no, Callum is within DRS. He has caught up, you were correct.
Yeah, AI seems to be quite late on, it's quite early on the brakes, sorry, whereas drivers are quite late on the brakes. He does gain a lot more time in the corners, but DRS only really keeps him within the pack, the train. It doesn't keep him, gain him anything, except from on the front driver. But he's going to make a double move here.
Will he
He'll try and get both the AlphaTauri and the Williams.
Oh, will he be able to do it?
Yeah, I think he's enough ahead now to keep it stuck. And he's now going to try and got the Alfa Romeo in his sights. He's now sprung to life, Callum, here. The Williams is trying to fight back.
This is Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, yeah, I'm surprised this Callum's really sprung to life now.
And I was about to say, this is truly a TikTok-worthy clip. Go follow the DFL TikTok, or if you're not, links down in the description down below. Why the hell wouldn't you? Go follow George's watch, you're at it. But now, Callum is chasing Joe Guan Yu. Will he get past? However, whilst that is happening, I see Harry and Jamie are pitting. Also, Charlie's just pitted onto the hards now. What will Harry and Jamie go on to?
Both hards, I presume. Jamie's now going in. Harry's on hards. Jamie is on hards as well.
Everyone going on hard, so everyone again on a level playing field until the two Alpines decide to pit themselves. But something we didn't mention, due to the pits of Harry, Peter's now up to P2. The Alpines are back on top, and the fact is, Peter, the last time we saw this was, I believe, France. Silverstone. Peter had a penalty which meant he lost his P2, which means they didn't get a 1-2. They still don't have an official 1-2. Could it be today that they get it?
Yeah, I mean, Harry was quite a bit ahead, so it'd be interesting to see when they box whether Harry gets back his P2. Yeah, it would just be an interesting one to keep an eye on, because those Alpines are probably going to be out there quite a while on those hards. And unless there's a weather change or anything else like that, I think, yeah, they're going to be fine.
Very true, very true. But can we just mention, we're talking about Callum a minute ago. He's back in the points now. Of course, he'll have to pit very, very soon. But he's back up to the points in P10 now.
Yeah, I presume he probably is going to pit within the next couple of laps. I don't see him going much further than that. He's probably just going to try and gain on those cars that were in front of him, avoid being stuck in that DRS train, and then, look to try and build from there.
Do you think they're going to sort of... Oh, Connor retires from a session. I don't blame him. He was 40 seconds behind? I can see how it's kind of boring, But do you think the plan of McLaren could be keep Callum in front, make sure that Jamie has that slipstream to feed off of, the DRS to feed off of, so Jamie can slingshot in front of Callum and get the pace to catch up to Harry?
Both Mercedes out.
Oh!
There's no points from Mercedes here today.
Wow. Not a good day for Mercedes at all. I mean, they're currently, fourth in the Constructors? Yeah, but...
Interesting note, though, is that George is now boxing.
What's he going to be... Those are the mediums. He's going to have the faster...
He's getting a new wing on as well. Did he spin? Did he hit something?
I didn't notice it. But also, what's working to his advantage is Yuki and Carlos are pitting. Harry's just behind him, but I don't think Harry will put... No, Harry does pull ahead of George here, but George is on the faster tyres.
Yeah, but George won't stay on those tyres for as long as Harry will.
Is it going to be a two-stop here today for Alpine?
And that's just team orders there between the McLarens. Jamie just getting past Callum, being the faster car. But sorry, what did you say? What's your question?
Do you think it's going to be a two-stop for the Alpines today? I mean, it's probably going to be for a few teams, but especially for Alpine going on to mediums now, it's not going to be the longevity they want. So maybe another set of mediums, or maybe even softs if it's really late on in the race.
I don't see those mediums lasting very long. I think it's going to have to be a two-stop from them. Maybe going back onto the hards afterwards. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We will definitely have to see, that's for sure. But now George is on the tail of Harry here. Will he manage to get the overtake? Will he find the gap he wants? He's within DRS. Oh, it's going on the inside. It's looking like it. And Preston, I can confirm to you that is P2 for George.
Yeah, he's obviously the faster. He was the fastest car on track with the slower tyres. He's got the fastest tyres. He's the fastest man on track still.
Very, very true. But Peter, I suspect, will be pitting now, which will pull George back into him. Will Peter pit suit in enough time that he'll get out before George can catch up, or do you think George will just overtake him?
I'd probably say George is going to overtake him once he's in the pits. It's a 21.8 second gap. I think that's too short of a gap. I think it's like maybe 22, 23 seconds of pit stop. So
yeah, which I suspect also means that Harry may also overtake Peter as well, losing Peter that P2 spot, I think, personally.
Could do, yeah. If not, it'd be close going to the first corner.
Or actually, I don't know. Will Peter make it out before George can overtake him? It's gonna be very
actually,
close.
yeah, you're right.
And Peter just holds.
He has done it. Wow, he must have had a very quick stop.
Of course, George.
Maybe Hungary is quite short of a pit stop, but yeah, normally it's about. Yeah, wow, he's done very well there.
But you've also got to think George had a wing change, Peter didn't. So that time difference.
Oh, that's true, yeah. You're right. Oh, he's just let him through as well.
I think it's gone to the point now where it's like, right, George is in the lead of the championship, Instead of Peter fighting for the championship, he's going to help George win this championship.
Yeah, it's fair enough at the end of the day. If one of them's ahead, there's no point bringing them down just to help the other one. may as well put your best foot forwards. And that being George. He's been dominant all race. I don't see him not being dominant for the rest of the race. So, yeah, it's just smart from Alpine.
Very true. But the real thing is now, if Alpine cannot break away, then they need to break away to a gap that when both of them hit it, whether they double stack it or not, they don't get overtaken when they two-stop it, because I don't think anyone else will two-stop it. I think it will just be Alpine.
You say that though, actually, thinking about it. I think Harry and that lot did actually end up going to like lap 17, which was about halfway through the race on those mediums. So yeah, I think I'm going back on my words. I think Alpine could stay on those mediums.
That is also very risky. Same question. I mean, if they don't get a big enough gap and most hards all of a sudden activate like that, it's gonna
That's
be
true.
a challenge.
Yeah, they could, but I don't know. I think the Alpine's pace today has just been something else. Something to really tell the other teams, like, they're not here to faff about, they're here to race, and yeah, pulling away a 5-second gap to the next non-Alpine car is proof of that.
Very true, very true. But we shall see what happens. But Callum now in P11, the lowest driver right now. Charlie in P7. Jamie in P4. Harry in P3. Could Callum get back into the points? Could Jamie overtake Harry? Is there a way that Charlie can get back up? There's so many questions, so many possibilities left of this race, isn't there?
Yeah, I think Charlie's going to also get the move done on Carlos Sainz down the straight. I don't think it'll be too much trouble here. But I think, yeah, he'll probably be chasing after Jamie because he's not going to be too far away once he gets near Yuki.
Very true. And what about that B? We've seen Harry versus Jamie so many times infamously going. You could write a history book about it, to be honest. The amount of collisions those two have had. But I don't think we've seen Charlie and Jamie battle very much.
No, I think honestly with Charlie's absence through best part of 2 seasons, it has left Jamie not really having much fights with him. And during season 3, Charlie was mainly at the front, and unfortunately for Jamie, he was towards the back because of the unlucky incidents he used to always get into. So yeah, we haven't really seen much of those two fight out. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on.
Very, very true. But I will say, I mean, there was a few occasions within Season 3 where Jamie did catch up to Charlie. He had like a mega speed boost. He ate one of the, what do you call it? One of the potatoes or toads from Mario. You know what I mean? Toad heads. You know, to give you the boost.
The mushrooms.
Boost. The mushrooms, thank you very much. Mushroom Kingdom, Toads, yeah, Mushroom Kingdom, thank you very much. I was trying to remember it. Potatoes, bloody hell. But yeah, it's like he ate a mushroom from Mario Kart and just boosted on ahead and then overtook Charlie for the win. So, you can't count Jamie out of the battle between them two.
No, obviously we've only seen brief examples. It would be nice to see them battle out a bit more, so fingers crossed we see some more battling between them.
I just thought of something. Now I've mentioned Mario Kart, we have to do a special one-off race, DFL race on Mario Kart. Imagine that. That would be something else.
Yeah, it would be quite funny. Don't know how it would work, but it would be quite funny.
I swear it's online or something, so I probably could do that, but unfortunately it's only Nintendo Switch, so unless everyone wants to fork out and buy a Nintendo Switch, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. And the DFL don't have the funds to buy all their drivers ones, so sorry guys, unfortunately it's not happening anytime soon, but maybe sometime in the future, you never know. But now, Peter has overtaken George. We haven't mentioned it, I didn't even notice it.
I saw Peter get the fastest lap. Yeah, I wasn't noticing it. I was watching Callum just getting to the points. I was just about to mention that, but now you said that. Yeah. Wow. Is it just Peter being faster out of the two?
I mean, it's looking like it. He is pulling a gap away. And is it sort of Peter saying, right, I know you're leading the championship right now, but you have such a gap on Harry. Why don't we battle?
Could be, or it could be George saying to Peter maybe that he wants Peter higher up in the championship, so giving him that first spot because he knows with him finishing second still means he gains on Charlie.
Very true. I think, I swear, if Peter finishes P1, does he almost just overtake Harry? You have to apply the sprint race result as well, so that's 7 extra points for Harry, no points for Peter.
What's Peter on now? 52?
Yes, and Harry would be on 60 if my math is correct.
Yes, he would. Harry's going to finish with 15. Peter does have fastest lap as well. That's 26. So he's got a 11-point difference in the race. And yeah, he would jump Harry.
So basically, Peter, in all seriousness, goes up 2 places because Harry has already overtaken Jamie. So Peter actually goes up 2 places, up to 4th.
Yeah, he would.
That has to be that is a major plus for Peter today. To be fair, if he wins this, that's pretty good.
He goes up to P4. Yeah, that's why I sort of mentioned maybe that's between Alpine, letting Peter gain those extra 7 points that he wouldn't have had.
Yeah. Is it maybe Alpine's plan now? You know, obviously, you know, Charlie and Callum, you know, we discussed it earlier. We said about the possibility of Jamie, Harry and Peter in the championship catching up to the top 3. Obviously, there's a bit of a gap there, but is it Alpine's plan to not only win Constructors, not only win the World Drivers' Championship, but also get second in the Drivers' Championship, so the best top spots over both championships?
That would be dominant, to say the very least. I mean, what would Peter be on then? With this race result, he would be on 78? Is that correct?
I believe. Well, he'd be on 60, wouldn't he? No. Harry would be on 60. I'm sorry, I'm doing maths really wrong here. 52 plus 26. That's
78.
78, yeah.
So he would be 22 points off Callum's points before. Everything else got taken into account.
Yeah.
He got 4 and as things stand 1, so 5. So he'd be 27 points off of Callum.
But also, Harry in P3 and Jamie in P4 also brings them closer to Callum as well.
Things are spicing up a little bit here.
Oh my god. When you really work it in your head, when you really work out the maths, this is really heating up to get to the halfway point of the championship. This is major.
Yeah, I mean, I think George is slowly pulling away, but yeah, everyone's going to be within one race result, really, of overtaking the next person.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, well, apart from maybe Callum and Charlie, because I think Charlie will get 10 points, which would take him up to 129, whilst Callum will only have 101. So there's no
105, including the sprint.
Yes. You're correct there. So I don't. Don't think there's really a possibility for Callum to overtake Charlie in Jeddah.
Well, if you think about it, it's still really a race result. He would be, 24 points ahead of Callum if he was on 105 and 129?
True.
Yeah, it'd be 24, and that's a race win. But if Charlie DNFs in Jeddah and Callum wins, he goes ahead of him again.
Oh my god. When this... I didn't even process this until I kind of looked at it. I was like, wait a minute, this championship is, as you, in your words, is really heating up, is really spicing up.
Yeah. Now it's proven that at the halfway stage, really, every race is till the end is going to be vital to where you finish.
I bet you really wish you were in this championship with how close it is.
Oh, don't know about that. It was close enough last season.
Yeah, we don't mention last season. That you're kind of a bit still a bit affected by that, aren't you?
No. Charlie was clearly the better driver, so it's fair enough. But yeah.
That is very true. Absolute credit to Charlie last season. Amazing driver. Definitely deserved the Season 3 World Drivers' Championship to take his first championship instead of you setting a record with your second. But if let's say for somehow George wins this championship and you race next season, you have 3 World Drivers' Champions who could battle away for their second championship. Of course, unfortunately, we won't have the Season 2 World Drivers' Champion, because he's unfortunately left. Again, won't go into it. But you have 3 champions going at it, potentially for their second World Drivers' Champion, and to hold the record of the most championships held so far.
Yeah. An interesting one going into Season 5. That is if George does win.
Yeah. However,
Charlie could win it and become 2-time in this one.
Exactly. We won't rule out that possibility, because we have seen, although not this race, but last race, he can get ahead. Unfortunately, again, George wasn't here last race, but he has been a very good driver so far in this season. He's won 3 times already. Who to say he can't win more and get ahead of George?
Yeah, and like we saw, he went 2 points ahead of George. He's just here can't happen again. And the race result is quite dominant from Alpine. Like, just looking at it, 21.6 seconds. That's beyond dominant. But it's not to rule them out, because at the end of the day, you can only get a maximum 26 points from this race anyway. So if Charlie performs in another race, it's equal playing fields again.
Very, very true. I can't even process the fact it's getting so close. Like last season, I'm sure you all heard, all of you guys who potentially watched Season 3, I know there wasn't many of you, but thank you to whoever did watch it. We really do appreciate it, don't we, Preston? The whole of the DFL appreciates it and everything. Thank you so much. Any of you who did watch it saw we had a 5-way championship fight at the beginning, and it came down to a 2-way championship fight. We're now going into halfway through the season, and we could have a 6-way championship fight at halfway through the season.
6 ways might be stretching a little bit, but yeah, I see your point. Yeah, it's going to be very close between all the drivers. Putting it as one race result between them is quite unimaginable for being halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Like, there's no big gaps anywhere really. Like, literally the biggest gap is a 1 race win away.
It's just
Callum's just fighting away with Kevin Magnus, trying to get that P9 spot. It's an extra point for him. it could, again, like you said, become vital when it comes to how close they are.
Exactly. But nice to finally see an overtake happening. We haven't seen one happen in a while, so finally get some entertainment. But someone else who's gaining is Charlie on Jamie here.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for Red Bull. Jamie doesn't have any battery. Charlie has nearly half a battery left in the tank. This should be an easy move for Charlie if all things go to plan.
You must not like seeing this, being the third driver of McLaren this season.
Yeah, I do want to see McLaren do well, but then again, I am a commentator, so I do want to see every team do well.
Very true.
And yeah, that's just easy for Charlie to go past. No real issues.
Jamie tried to defend it. He defended it quite well to begin with, but unfortunately again, Charlie does pull in front of Jamie up to P4. So we're seeing an Alpine 1-2 and a Red Bull 3-4. Unless Jamie can fight back here. But again, with no ERS, it's Charlie's game, really.
Yeah, I would presume Jamie probably sticks to the back of Charlie with the DRS, but I don't think he's probably going to do much more with how much battery that Charlie has.
That's the problem with some of the guys. Some of the guys manage to really manage their ERS, keep half of it, use it when needed. Some of the guys just take it to the absolute bare bones, don't they? When they don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, might depend on the tracks, but yeah, that just shows driver skill. Then again, some people can make their tyres last longer than other people, so it's heavily dependent on driver skill and driver technique. Obviously, some of them might just go full out, build the gap first, may not have a battery, but at least they've got a gap, and others would rather reserve it.
Very, very true. But it doesn't, just completely off topic for a minute, it doesn't really look like those hards are settling in for Harry at all. He's still losing time, and mediums are still being as effective as ever.
Yeah, I just think that Alpine pace is just so strong. Yeah, they're just lapping cars now, just for fun. They're just that strong around this track. And nothing seems to have phased them.
Very true, very true. Say a very strong showing from Alpine, and quite the opposite day for Mercedes, unfortunately. Both drivers, Connor and Lewis, getting DNF'd. I mean, Connor was, 40 seconds behind due to spinning out a couple of times. Hopefully, we're hoping a weak track for him, because then maybe he'll come Jeddah, being a strong track, and he'll come back and show what he can truly do. But we'll see what happens. But yes, both Mercedes DNFing here today. Or should I say Williams, because now Mercedes are Williams and Williams are Mercedes, how it works. But yeah, what's your opinions on that?
I think, using Jeddah as a good example for next week. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Because, I just think that there's not many areas to spin in Jeddah, maybe like 1 or 2. So it'd be interesting to see if this was just his off track or whether, he is struggling a little bit. But he's shown good pace, and I don't see any reason for him to struggle in Jeddah.
Very true, very true. But as we were talking, Callum is up to P8. That's an extra 2 points for him today. So a total of 4 points. Any points count, critical points. As we know, the championship is getting closer and closer. So Callum will be hoping to hold on to those 4 points instead of 2 points.
Yeah, he's only really gained 1 point on Charlie though, because of from what we calculated before, because obviously Charlie moving up means that he gains an extra 2 points on Callum.
Very true, very true. But people, It is the last final lap of the race, and what a race it has been for Alpine. Honestly, me and Preston have just watched in absolute awe of what Peter and George have done today. Harry 30 seconds behind George, but nothing could be done today, people. Alpine have come, they have shown, and they have absolutely dominated the Hungaroring. You get what I mean? It's Alpine 0-1-2 here today. Peter wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. George comes to take P2, but take the absolute mick of it and come through the pits. I didn't even see that at first. But what a way to finish it for today's race for Alpine. Red Bull will take a 3-4. McLaren a bit split up. Unfortunately, Mercedes both DNFing here today. But what a showing by Alpine here today. I think you can agree, Preston.
Yeah, just so dominant. Just gone with class throughout the whole race, and yeah, to finish off P1 and 2 with enough time for George to take the Mickey and box. It just says it all. What a masterclass they've shown today.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because of that, Peter takes 4th place in the championship. George goes back up to first, well, stays in first place because he took it back in the sprint. Red Bull go down to 2nd place, and Alpine take back the 1st place in the Constructors' Championship. It's changes all over the board. What a brilliant race it's been today. Your driver of the day is, as presented, if it pops up anytime soon, which I really hope it does, of course, Charlie. I mean, it's well overdue. I think Peter and Charlie are split maybe today. And here comes the man who went from P19 all the way to P1 to take what I believe is his first win of the season of his DFL career. He will be definitely celebrating with the champagne with the team tonight because it's Alpine's first 1-2 of the season as well. Will Alpine pick up a 2nd Constructors' Championship for the team? Because, of course, Charlie won it for them last season with Fernando Alonso. Will it be a 2nd time with Charlie and Peter this season? Especially after this dominant display. But here we are for your leaderboard of the race. Peter takes P1, his first win of the season. George finishes off for 1-2 in P2. Harry starts off for Red Bull 3-4 in P3. Then Charlie goes and finishes the 3-4 in P4. Jamie takes the P5. Callum in P8. But unfortunately, due to being so far behind, Connor did retire from a race. But what a brilliant race. And what a brilliant weekend it has been for DFL. We'll be back next time with a 100% race.